What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. So this picture right here, this roadmap, is something a lot of you probably missed. This was posted to the official Raid Instagram around the time when the previous What's Next in Raid video was released, the one talking about the community weeks, the hard mode faction wars, all that kind of stuff. This lays out the order of things that are going to be happening. So we're currently in community weeks. Now, it doesn't say that after the end of community weeks, that's when the faction wars is going to start. And something today happened that made me think that we're going to be getting hard mode faction wars very soon, and you probably want to prepare for it. Now, when it comes to preparation, that's where I want to talk about this real quick. So this is that video I mentioned, and this is where it talks about some conditions that make preparation for hard mode faction wars something that I haven't talked about at all up until this point because I didn't really see much reason in it. But check this out real quick. So this is how you can get 2 stars in hard mode faction wars with no losses, but
Time around. Getting 3 will require something special. You might be killing enemies while...
One second, guys. Sorry. I was listening to 2x speed. Let's go back just a little bit. All right. And if you wonder why I talk so fast, that's probably why.
Getting 3 will require something special. It might be killing enemies while they're under 10 debuffs, or landing a specific number of final blows with a champion under perfect veil. Be sure to check out what challenge...
All right. So 2 things there. It said that getting 3 stars is going to require different conditions, such as landing a blank number of final blows with a champion under perfect veil. This would probably be like on the waves, you know, getting that final kill, that final hit to make the actual kill count, win a champion under perfect veil. Now, these conditions are obviously just examples because not all factions can meet those requirements. I mean, if you come in here and look at your champions, you can see, okay, who has perfect veil? Well, Perfect Veil is not going to be in every faction. Let's go ahead and click through a few factions, just an example, and see. Okay, Bannerlords, nobody has Perfect Veil. Not a single champion. So that is something to consider. That's not; those are just examples, 100% examples. But what this does mean is when you're building these teams, you could at least consider, hey, the debuff thing could be realistic because debuffs, having 10 debuffs on a boss could be something actually likely to happen. Now, I do want to talk about what we had happen today that makes me kind of wonder how soon this is actually going to happen and how you can use this to your benefit. So what we had happen today is news drop about a 2-week free gear removal. Guys, this is absolutely massive. This is the best time by far to move your champions around, jump in there, and switch up some things. Now, I wish Plarium will let us know more realistically how soon Faction Wars Hard Mode is going to come out. I really would love for them to actually drop it maybe by the end of this week. Maybe we get it Thursday. I wouldn't be too surprised because this is a perfect time to drop it when people can actually move gear around. But since we do have the Community Titan event going on, which I'll talk about that more in just a minute, we also have a champion training event. This is perfect because right now what you can do is if you're not wanting to come in here and, you know, optimize your team necessarily just yet, you can at least go to your presets. These are all separate presets from any other area in the game, by the way. So even if it was pre-filled, you can just delete the old teams. This is just for Faction Wars. But you can come in here and be like, okay, well, I want to do a Skinwalkers faction team, but maybe I have some champions who could do really good, but they're kind of low level. They're not taken up just yet. Some of your factions are going to be perfect and easy, throw in there, no problem. But then some of them are going to have champions who need to be leveled. So get a list, get an idea of what champions you need to have leveled. And even if you're not going to be meeting the 3-star requirements, you're at least going to get the 2-star stuff done. And it's still going to be worth farming even at 2-star because remember, you just need the 3-star for the milestone missions. You can still farm a stage with 2 stars and that's going to be okay. Now, can you do it on auto with just 2 stars? I'm pretty sure you can, right? Either way, no loss is going to be 2 stars, so definitely still try to do that. But the 3 stars is going to be what's required to actually get the mythical champion towards the end. Getting the better rewards, better resources is definitely going to be worth it. So look at your factions, figure out which champions, which factions are a little bit struggling. Even moving into stage 1 of hard mode is probably going to be better than the top stage. Stage 20 is a top, right? Stage, well, 21 technically, but stage 20, 21 of normal mode. Just like hard mode dungeons just are flat out better than normal stages. So keep that in mind. Even if you don't know the conditions, it'll still be worth building up some champions just to get in there. And the champions are going to be the best, well, are your best champions at level 60 with the best gear. It's not that difficult, which during this free gear removal, you can kind of consolidate some of your gear to what your best champions are, bringing the filler champions to fill in the specific requirements once you get there. But no matter what, doing the requirements or not, it's going to be worth it to have champions pushing as high in the stages as you can and at least farming as high possible stages. Because with the faction wars, you also can get better rewards. Let me see if I can find a screen of the rewards real quick because the drops were nice. They did seem better. We're getting epic glyphs, legendary glyph there, which is very nice. We're getting some spiteful remains, which I guess are relic crafting materials. So you're really going to want to be doing it for that as well. And then we're also getting probably more drops from the whole bloodstone and the other stuff. Here we go. Let's see. These are all fillers down there, of course. We have the hard modes. We have the glyph drops with material drops. Very good stuff. You're going to want to go to hard mode. Now, the next portion I want to talk about is going to be this path event. So, sorry, the Titan event, not the path event, the Titan event. So, Titan events are very similar to fusions as far as the resources you need to finish them. Now, this champion may not be one you're going to use. He is much better for progressional players, but he is going to be very good for those players, I believe. I think his passive is very cool, and we're not going to see the full utility of it until he's on the live servers. But this AoE skill could be a stun set, could be a hex, provoke, all that kind of stuff. The A2, the turn meter boost plus the increased attack and strengthen, very powerful stuff there. And the A3, the revive, with the champion being revived, using their A1 and targeting an enemy with the lowest HP, possibly getting the kill. If they do get the kill, then boom, this is off cooldown. So I think he's a cool champion. And when it comes to support type champions with a similar role to him, the most impactful blessings, or the blessing that is the most impactful, I'd say is a 5-star blessing. Anything lower than that, you're probably not going to get massive benefits. Unlike damage dealers, 4-star is like the place to go, and then 6-star, of course. But at 5-star, you're going to boost his resistance. You're going to boost his accuracy, which is not really needed for this champion. He places no debuff, so it's literally not needed. Resistance could be cool, but the thing that's even better is you're getting the 5-star bonus on the blessing itself for that champion. So say you wanted to use Intimidating Presence on him. You have no other Intimidating Presence champion who's very far along. Well, this is going to be a 15% boost to your aura and a reduction of 20% to the enemy's aura. If you wanted to switch it up and go for Temporal Chains instead, which is a very powerful 5-star blessing, that's going to be awesome. So Temporal Chains right here at 5-star is going to decrease the enemy's speed by 5% for each active buff up to 15%. This is actually better in some cases at 5-star than 6-star. The 6-star version has a chance of Marius, reducing his turn meter, causing him to counterattack, messing up your team. So 6-star can kind of be dangerous. So 5-star is very good. Now, that doesn't mean you have to go for the 5-star blessing. This is going to be resource demanding. You may want to save it for future fusions, which are going to be more impactful for your account, but something worth considering. Whether you're going for this, I would say the Mythical Tome is very nice. I'm going to try to get this done, but if it's ended up being too difficult, I'm not going to stress too much about it. I would love to get the Eternal Soul Coins for sure. The rewards throughout are not bad. The tier 4, I guess, basically, the milestone 4, Void Shard and Legendary Tome are good. This one is actually a really good page in general, whether you're going for the soul stuff or not. But something to consider is this Faction Wars hard mode is going to bring with it a new mythical champion. You see down here at the bottom, rewind this just a little bit. Let's start playing it so we can actually see the champion. But a new mythical champion. That's going to mean you're going to need new and more mythical tomes. So there we go. We have no clue how good this champion is. Could be amazing, could be not so good. But something Plarium does really well is giving champions who are free a lot of value. What I mean is champions like Mikage, who's a free fusion. I don't have her in the fusion champion no more because I already fused her. She's a very, very good mythical champion. Embreeze is a very, very good mythical champion. We have Lamasu, not a mythical, but a very good champion. We have Mithrala and Lydia. Some of our best champions in the game are champions you earn from just playing the game. Marius, Ramontu during his time of not polymorph running around like crazy was very good. Marius is crazy. So with that theme being kept up, I'm going to assume the champion who's being released in hard mode Faction Wars, if anywhere comparable to how good Lydia is, this new champion is going to be amazing. And that brings the fact that, hey, you're going to need mythical tomes. And I looked at some of the mythical champions to try to get an idea of how many mythical tomes you're going to need. And it looks like most mythicals are going to need about 9 to 11 books to fully book them, and then about 4 to 6 books for just one form, whether it's the first form or the second form. So some mythicals, you're only going to use it in the second form. Some are going to use both forms. So somewhere between that 9 and 11 book number seems to be the range you're going to need to fully book the champion. That's including the A1s, which a lot of these mythicals, you don't really care if their A1 is booked. Mikage, an extra 10% damage, yeah, I don't care about that. But if you have bad luck and you book the A1, well, then you're going to have to go for that higher number of books. So when we're looking at this Titan event, You may not need to do all the events, but some of the events will have mythical tomes in it, like this champion training event. This champion training event is actually going on at a perfect time. It's going on during the free gear removal, which that's not going to really relate to this, but it's going to help you move that gear over to your faction war champions, level your faction war champions up who need to be leveled up. This is going on for 3 days and 16 hours. You're going to be able to push, possibly get this mythical skill tome, which is going to be pretty high resource demand as far as energy, as far as brews on your champions. Hopefully, you've been taking your champions when you don't need to level them super hard. Maybe you did something like me, where you did a Prism Shard event. You pulled a ton of epics that you don't need or want, and I just threw a bunch of them in here just to drop some brews into in the future, which I'll probably do right now. I have a bunch of champions saved up in their vault that are 5-star level 1. Mostly all these should be 5-star level 1s for future champion training events. Some of these I may end up taking up to get them at 5-star, work on that. Preparing for future champion training events where it's actually like a champion as a first place reward, something like that. But basically, if you can, now and by the time the mythical champion releases, honestly, most of the time, you should really be trying to get these mythical skill tomes when you can, because they do make quite a significant impact and they're very difficult to get. I have 11, which are going to be quickly eaten up when I get Embreeze, who's going to take, let's see, actually Carnage. Carnage is another free champion. I completely forgot about him. Another free mythical. So, Carnage. I think that's how you say it. Spell it somehow. No H needed. Carnage. There we go. So 2, 3, 4, 5. About the same track as everybody else. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So this one champion eats all 11 of my books. So Carnage, Embreeze, New Mythical, and Mikage, 4 mythical champions, basically 30 to 40 plus mythical tomes is what you're going to need. And if you're not buying these, they are difficult to come by. And if you're buying them, they're not cheap. So whether you want to go for this community Titan event or not, it's really up to you and depending on how much you want to push during this stuff. So I do think it's kind of crappy them dropping this into the community event. I mean, it's a free champion. They should give us some access to the soul for free. I think every other free champion like this has been basically you continue progression and you get this soul for free as well. So it's kind of garbage they did it like this. But I mean, there's not really a whole lot you can say about it or do nothing you can do about it. You can either go for it or skip it. But whatever you decide to do, keep in mind that there will be a heavy need for mythical tomes very soon, depending on where your progression is at. You're going to need it for Carnage, Embreeze, the new mythical, most likely, all these champions eating up your mythical tomes, which this is a decent place to get them, as well as a lot of the other rewards. Champion training. The other place you typically get them are going to be shard pull events. Get the top of the shard pull milestones, and you can get those mythical tomes. I, unfortunately, was not playing any really yesterday during Easter, and I forgot this event ended, so I wasn't able to pick up this mythical tome right here. 20,000 points was pretty heavy, but I ended up coming short, didn't get it. Not a huge deal. I wasn't going to pull any more shards, so it worked out fine, but I do want to try to get these whenever I can. So guys, that's my opinion on this. Best of luck in whatever you decide to do. Let me know what your plans are. I plan to be streaming here in about an hour, hour and a half after this video goes live, so I look forward to seeing you guys over there, hopefully. All right, guys, thank you all for watching. I appreciate it, and I'll catch you in the next one.